Okay, so I couldn't not react to this DVD dating Sims announcement trailer. Like when I first saw this Hooked on You, I literally thought that it was a joke. I don't know. I just didn't think that they would actually make that. So I'm just gonna like watch the trailer and react to it because I don't know. It's just so funny. Like I've looked at all of the announcements and stuff, and I've watched some of the recap videos because I didn't really get to watch the anniversary broadcast live. But I know there's like a lot of cool things coming out, but something about this dating simulator is just so funny. So let's go ahead and watch this together. I can't. And the music, dude. This looks like something out of the 80s or something. Huntress has huge quads. Also, what is wrong with her toe? Like,
oh my
what
God.
is going on there?
What is that?
Wraith looks cute as usual. Spirit. Okay. A Dead by Daylight dating sim coming this summer. And the music, like, I just can't. Like, what is that? Now I want to see, like, this is a clip from the stream, like the broadcast, about what they said about the dating simulator. So I want to see what they had to say about that. What is this? Oh my god.
If you had told me when we launched this game that I'd be here 6 years later with my feet in the sand announcing a Dead by Daylight dating sim, I would have
believed it.
And that is what makes today such an
That's what people have been asking for some reason,
excited
I feel like.
to be able to announce that Hooked on You, a Dead by Daylight dating sim, is quickly coming.
Is that a
So
pun?
it is a crazy idea. It's
Stop it. Get some help.
an absurd concept, but we are always looking for new ways to tell our Dead by Daylight stories. And our fans have shown us over the years just how thirsty they are for more background and more stories about our characters.
I mean, I know that people simp over the killers and stuff, but I feel like a dating simulator is just so weird. Like, I don't think that's what people like necessarily intended.
So last year we did an official community survey exploring new ways potentially of expanding the universe of Dead by Daylight, and I think the third one
Oh my god,
was
dude.
dating simulator. And that was a surprise, but you know what? We
Wait,
decided to
no, let's go back and like look at some of those comments. I want Daddy Trapper to slap me with the side of his there's a lot about Huntress, literally, and no wonder they made her quads so big and her thighs. Tricks. You know what's so interesting is they didn't actually put Trickster in this. I mean, at least not in the trailer, even though there's a couple about Trickster. Maury me, Daddy Trickster.
and that was a surprise.
I can't. This Trapper thing. Oh my god. Wraith's looking pretty cute today. Dude, I could see myself leaving this comment because I've literally said that in so many of my past videos. He just looks so little and like kind of cute. Like,
What?
I don't know. I just don't find Wraith scary at all.
So we decided to go with some specialists out there, some people that made a little game called I Love You, Colonel Sanders.
Are they talking about KFC? Was there a video? Was there a game about that? Like,
That was very well received. And I'm very happy to have with
I'll have
me
to look
today
at that.
Alexei from PsyOp to talk a little bit. He's the creative director.
actually,
of-
let me. I love you, Colonel Sanders. Wait, this is a thing? Do you guys know about this? I've literally never seen this. A dating sim Commissioned by the restaurant and released on Steam? What? What is... Oh my god. I regret looking into this, but okay. Now we know where they got that from.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited that I got to create such a unique take on such a really serious and kind of grim world, and bring it into a little bit of hearts and butterflies and shine some rosy warm light on it.
That's awesome. So yes, you're absolutely right.
I love their feet
We
in
created
like
a
the
very
fake
grim
sand.
universe, and we asked you to do something extremely silly with it.
Yeah.
How
Wait,
does
that's a
one go
palette
about
behind him and a gen? I didn't
making
even
this
notice
right?
the setup.
Sure. Well, I like to say that when making a project that seems as off-kilter and unexpected as this, the big gimmick for me is that there is no gimmick. It is a serious game that we take really seriously when we create it, and we treat all of the characters with a sense of humor, but with sort of deep respect as well, so that we can make a really compelling game.
Dude, I feel like he's trying not to laugh. Like,
with a sense of humor, but with sort of deep respect as well.
I don't find you funny.
Yeah, so, the story that we're creating is very much not a canon story for the Dead by Daylight.
canon
put it out
story.
there.
You know what's so interesting is that he was saying, you guys like really want more background and more lore for these characters because you guys thirst over them so much. But then when they're making this dating simulator, like it's not canon anyways, so it's pretty much just gonna be like random stuff that's not actually relevant, like lore-wise, to their character in the game. So it's kind of interesting in that sense. Like it's not giving you exactly what people are supposedly asking for.
To make sure that's clear. That being said, we want to create something that really does justice to the truths that have been established. So we started someplace as far away as we could by thinking about, what is the brightest and happiest kind of take on this world? Well, maybe it's something like the beach episode of a sitcom or an anime series, and then kind of pull our way back into that main core experience of what's going through these killers or survivors' minds at any given moment, and try and make sense of those two worlds playing together and see what kind of crazy stuff comes.
Those two worlds would just not play together. Like a killer and a survivor would not like. It's just so funny. I don't know.
So obviously one of the main questions that people have is what characters from that
Yes,
Daylight
I
will
need to
be able
know
interact
this.
with?
Sure. Well, leaning into that kind of sitcom or anime kind of cliches and tropes, and then kind of turning them on their head, we decided to take 4 killers, since killers are the most monstrous and inhuman characters in the world, and make them as human as we could by assigning 4 kind of typical TV trope archetypes to them. So we've got the Trapper, who is standing in as the
Trapper
jock.
is the
We've got
jock.
the Huntress, who is standing in as the overachiever. We've got the Wraith, who is playing the nerd. And we've got the Spirit, who is the goth.
Goth? I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like the Trapper makes sense as a jock. I don't know. I feel like they could have put Trickster into this, but I'm trying to think who would have been replaced. Honestly, I personally like Wraith, but I feel like a lot more people simp over the Trickster than Wraith. So, I don't know. I feel like Trickster would have been a good fit there instead of Wraith, maybe. Even though I love Wraith, but
That's amazing, and it's interesting also as a take because those sort of archetypes, those cliches from horror movies from forever ago, are things that we tried to not erase, but we tried to avoid when we did Dead by Daylight, especially on the survivor side. We had them much more be humans and relatable. So it's really interesting to see those things.
did they really try to stay away from horror genre type things when they came up with the game? Because I feel like that's kind of the opposite of what you'd want to go for if you're trying to make a horror game. Like, no wonder it's not scary. I mean, I understand trying to make the lore a bit relatable, but they should still be trying to go for some of those more known, like, horror elements, don't you think?
That are very important to the horror genre be represented in this.
Yeah, in writing the experience, it made for a really fun twist. And what we recognized when we dug as deep as we could into the lore and talked so much with your team is that all of these killers come from a really human place to begin with. They've all suffered some sort of trauma or some sort of really dark thing in their past that bringing them into this kind of comedy scenario.
I just want to comment on that. A while ago, I made a killer lore tier list video, and in that, I kind of did notice this, that most of the killers do have some kind of trauma that happened to them that almost tries to justify, like, the fact that they're a killer. And I remember, like, when I was filming that video, like, I was kind of saying that this killer, you know, they're like this because of this, and a lot of people in the comments were saying, you know, the point of the killer is that there is no justification. Some killers are just evil, and that's just the way it is. So it's kind of interesting to me that, you know, what I was kind of getting out of their lore is kind of what they intended, is that you kind of do see a reason why they are the way they are, like, based on their lore. Not all of them, but most of them. Like, I do think that some of their trauma contributes to them being killers.
But still exploring their real lore, it was just, like, pretty wild. So we had a lot of fun with it.
Very cool. And who, as the player, like, it was an interesting choice to figure out who the player would be in
What is
this
it, the
scenario.
survivors or
Well,
no?
we want to let the player play as themselves.
Oh.
So this is an interactive branching story, and you will get to make decisions that define who you are. There is no canon version of yourself, and we thought that was a great way to really do justice to the huge amount of diversity and variety in the Dead by Daylight audience.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to make sure that the 4 killers who you get to romance really represent 4 very different types of relationship, and you get to be yourself and see which killer is right for you as you make honest decisions in response to some
Terribly strange questions.
That's awesome.
I'm so curious what that means.
A very important piece of also building that world and really giving the ambiance, the gravitas.
Gravitas. No, but honestly, I feel like it would have been kind of cool, though, if they also had a selection of survivors that you play as. I mean, playing as yourself is kind of cool, I guess, but it's also kind of a cop-out, because then there's not going to be anything, like, very specific to you. I don't know. I guess, like, they'll ask the questions to kind of gauge what kind of a person you are, so it'll be more tailored to you, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of people ship, like, certain survivors and certain killers, or certain killers with each other. So I feel like it would be cool to kind of expand this eventually to, like, have more choices. Not that this is, like, something that I feel like, well, people will play a lot, but I don't know. We'll see.
You obviously want more details.
Yes.
There will be more information coming, but for now you should know you'll be able to get your little hands on
God.
Hooked on You, a Dead by Daylight dating sim this summer on Steam. And if you do that, you'll also get a unique charm
To
in Dead by
advertise
Daylight, after that.
that you've been
Now,
playing the dating
thank you again
simulator.
to all of our fans.
Yeah.
Thank you for making this possible for us.
Okay, so yeah, it's pretty interesting. I think it's kind of funny. I do think it's a little wild that they're actually doing it. I'm kind of interested to see how, like, the lore and story is going to differ from the game, because they're kind of, like, putting this huge emphasis on, like, we're staying very true to the killers and we're staying very true to the game and the music and all this stuff. But at the same time, they're saying it's not canon, and they're making it, like, really fresh and different, and kind of putting these stereotypes of TV onto these characters, which I feel like is not really the case at all with the DBD lore. So we'll see how it turns out. It's kind of a funny concept. Let me know what you guys thought about it as well. Let me know if you'll actually want to see me play that when it comes out over the summer. And about the new chapter, I did play the PTB. I thought the new survivor was pretty cool. I wasn't too excited by her perks, to be honest. And the new killer, the Dredge, I felt like that was way cooler. Like, I didn't play as the killer, but I played against the killer, and I definitely had some jump scare moments of it teleporting through the lockers and stuff. So I thought it was kind of fun. I'm not very, very excited about the new chapter, but you know, it's always cool to try something new. And I also saw that they're going to be basically adding another Resident Evil chapter, which they just put out the trailer for today. It was very short. I don't know too much about the older Resident Evil games, but I know people are excited about that. And I think it's cool that they're adding, you know, more of the licensed content. I also saw some of the other changes with respect to, you know, quality of life stuff. And I think some of the things that they added are really convenient. You know, like they have the little customizable perk slots now. I thought that was really cool. So you don't have to like reload up all your perks over and over again. You can save a couple of configurations of the perks and items that you normally like to use. I know they're also going to rework a lot of the perks. I'm not really sure about the details on that, so we'll see how that goes. And they're also going to change the Mori. So now automatically when you get a 4K, your last kill will be a Mori essentially, which is pretty cool too, because I really like Moris. So definitely a lot of changes coming to DBD. I feel like a lot of these are pretty exciting for a lot of people. I'm pretty interested in them, but I just like haven't been playing DBD as much at all lately. So hopefully one of these changes kind of get me back into the game a little bit more. So we'll definitely see how that goes. Let me know what you guys thought about the anniversary broadcast that they did and what you thought was the most interesting thing coming. Sorry I haven't been posting as much. I've just been like really busy. It's hard to find the time to make videos, but when I saw this dating simulator thing, I knew I had to make like at least a 5-minute video on it. This is probably gonna be longer, but it's just so funny. So I hope you guys enjoy me doing reaction videos like this occasionally too. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy my content. And I hope you guys are having a great week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.